Okay, good afternoon. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Caldwell Hearing Examiner, and it is Tuesday, January 27th at 1:31 p.m. This is a public hearing, and my name is Sabrina Durchie, and I'll be your hearing examiner for today. I can hear quasi-judicial decisions concerning particular land use applications for the City of Caldwell. During this public hearing process, public oral testimony will be taken from those in attendance and those who have signed up the sign-up sheet to speak, which is available at the front of the room. When you testify, please come up to the podium. Please speak into the microphone and state your full name and address. All comments should be addressed to the hearing examiner, myself, and should be relevant to the application. Once the public hearing is open, we shall first start with staff. Then the applicant will be given 10 minutes, or the applicant's representative, and the public testimony will then be opened for anyone who has signed up in favor to speak. Finally, the applicant or applicant's representative will then be permitted a 5-minute rebuttal if needed. And after the rebuttal is given, the public hearing portion of the hearing will be closed and no new oral or written testimony will be allowed unless there's a vote to reopen the public hearing. With that, we're required by Idaho State Code to take written minutes for all of our public hearings. So I ask everyone just please silence your cell phone. So with that, let's get started. We don't have any old business, nothing on our consent calendar, so we can move right to new business. Action item, case number SUP 25-020. And I don't know, I'm going to hopefully pronounce this correct, but Wessam Almahadahare of Vape Stop, sorry, on behalf of Cleveland Caldwell LLC is requesting approval of a special use permit for a tobacco vape retail facility to be located at 5210 Cleveland Boulevard. The storefront is already existing. The application is for a change in use. No changes to the site are being proposed. The parcel is Zone C3 and is located on the southwest side of Cleveland Boulevard, approximately 400 feet south of the intersection with East Eustic Road. And with that, staff report, please.
Madam Hearing Examiner, it was my understanding that we are changing the process and having the applicant go first.
Oh,
Are we not doing that anymore?
I did not know that.
Was that in the cheat sheet or no? It doesn't matter right now, I guess, however you want it.
Let's just keep, since I wasn't aware, then since I already told them the staff would go first.
Okay.
Let's have you go first, and then for the next hearing, is this going to be our new norm?
Yes.
Okay, I will update that then.
Okay.
We will too, I thought we did, apologies.
It's okay, maybe I was an oversight, so thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Hearing Examiner. Garlene Davis, Planner 1, 205 South 6th Avenue. Before you today is SUP 25-00020. The subject site is located along Cleveland Boulevard and approximately 0.1 mile away from the Cleveland Boulevard and East Eustic intersection. On the north of the site, there are various commercial uses. On the south of the site, you will find a large commercial use, which is Walmart, and on the east, various commercial uses and industrial uses as well, and on the west of it, Walmart and Walmart Fuel Center. The subject site was annexed into the city of Caldwell in 1996 with the C3 zoning district. As recorded in ordinance number 2123, the existing structure was subsequently constructed as a shell building intended for use as a multi-tenant retail center. The applicant proposes to change the use of Suite 145 from a retail internet sale business to a vape shop. Because vape shop and the C3 zoning district require a special use permit under city code, this request is before you today. The site is zoned C3, general commercial, and has carried that designation since annexation. And the C3 zone is intended to support a wide range of commercial uses located primarily along major corridors, which fit Cleveland. The entire building is required to provide a minimum of 27 parking space to serve all the suites. At the time of this special use permit, the site provides a total of 72 parking spaces. The proposed use requires per hour city regulation. It requires 3 parking spaces. Based on this information, staff finds that the proposal meets the minimum off-street parking requirement. The existing shell building and associated landscape elements were constructed prior to the adoption of our current zoning and landscaping standards. And as a result, the site does not comply with our current landscaping standards. And because of the proposed change in use, the applicant is required to bring the site into greater conformance with City Code Section 100209, which is our landscaping code. Staff therefore will recommend a condition of approval requiring the installation of 50 shrubs along the Cleveland Boulevard frontage prior to May 1st, spring, to bring the site into further compliance. And due to existing overhead power line within the landscape buffer, we do not recommend tree installation in the landscape buffer. Staff is also recommending the following additional conditions. No signage is approved as part of this application, and any further signage must comply with city code. The use shall be substantially consistent with the approved plans for the SUP permit, and the business shall operate between only 8 a.m. and 10 p.m., which are the hours proposed by the applicant. Public agencies were notified of this public hearing. ITD and Nampa Highway District Number 1 had no comments on the proposed use. Fire, mapping, and engineering departments approved the use with no comments, and we received no public comments on the project as well. And staff recommends that if the hearing examiner approve this SUP, that it be subject to the conditions as specified in the findings of fact and conclusions of law in order of decision. Now I will stand for questioning.
Thank you. I guess my question is concerning the landscaping. So, can we go back to like the site plan?
Yes.
So overall, the whole building itself with multiple tenants in it is not meeting the landscape requirement.
Yes, because it was built around 2000 and, I believe it was 2003.
Okay, so due to the old landscape requirements, so now we're in a new zoning code, new requirements. But he's only a fraction
Yes,
of who is actually using the facility.
yes. But we do have as part of our code that once anybody is applying for an SUP, the site must be brought into greater conformance.
Even if there's multiple uses. Okay,
Which makes it
yeah,
an odd situation.
all right, I'm just curious. Okay, would you like to come up, state your name and address? And then maybe discuss the landscaping a little bit, your thoughts and stuff on how, for the shrubs.
Well, thank you for everybody for showing up today. It's greatly appreciated. As far as the landscape,
Name and address, please.
Wassam Al Madrahi. Address for the location or personal address?
I think it has to be your personal
Yeah,
address.
1240 Monarch Street, Detroit, Michigan 48212.
Okay, thank you.
As far as, it seems like I need to put bushes on, or shrubs on the, past the right of way, it seems like, of the resident, the commercial property. I mean, I feel like there's more than one business there. There's approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think at least 6 or 7 businesses in that plaza. And I mean, it's not there currently. I don't know, it's not my space, it's not my building in a way to really make that decision.
Right.
If it was my building, then I can, I guess, stay here and, make a decision. But at the same time, it's not my building. It's the landlord's building, Mr. Wiley, since I guess 2003. I think he's been the owner there. So, I mean, it's really not my call.
That was gonna be my next follow-up question. Are you the owner of the building, or you're just gonna be a tenant renting that space?
Yeah, I'm just a tenant that's renting the space and
Okay.
paying a lease.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking back over you guys. I mean, it doesn't seem fair for him to have to put in all the landscaping. And then I'm a little concerned that we might not have the landscape width in the parking lot.
Yes, that is also mentioned in my staff report.
Yeah.
So the landscaping as a whole is not up to our current standard. The landscape width along Cleveland, I've measured, it's about 8 feet wide, and right now we're requiring about 25
Right.
for Cleveland. So we are not, we're thinking they might have obtained some sort of reduced width at the time. I could not find a proper permit. The permit that I found didn't give me much detail on what kind of reduced.
Right. Okay. I guess my concern is that, have you talked to the owner yet about this condition? Have you spoke to him?
About the landscape?
Yes.
No.
No, okay. I guess my concern is that we're not meeting the minimum width. Like, some of the parking lot would have to probably be, it would have to be kind of a redo for the site plan area. And I'd hate for him to have his permits being held up based on the fact that he doesn't own the property, and to accommodate for the landscaping that we're gonna condition.
Madam Hearing Examiner,
Yes.
the
Joe.
condition doesn't speak about widening the buffer, knowing that
Okay.
it would have to remove parking and things like that, so there's definitely no part of that.
Okay,
And technically, the code would also require a certain number of trees, which we're also not requiring.
Right,
So
what's your-
when we reviewed it, we were trying to find the least impact, but yet could give a good benefit, which we thought the shrubs addition would be nice, because right now it's just grass. There's
Right.
just grass and some power poles.
Sure.
We also understand the weird conversation, so to speak, that needs to occur when it's not his property, he's just a tenant. And any SUP that would have been required here, we would be saying the same thing, even if it was before the new code, because it's still not even compliant with the old code. And so I think you as the decision maker can make the final call, but it could be a modification of our condition and just states that the applicant will work with the landowner to try and get the 50 shrubs in there, and then, to your point, it's not the tenant's property. At least we tried.
Okay.
And we can work with the owner and the tenant to do that, and then if the owner of the property needs to disperse those costs across all the tenants as they get the benefit of having a nicer buffer, then that's up to them, but,
Okay.
as far
I
as the
like that
city's
idea.
concerned, at least we did our due diligence to try and get the shrubs.
Okay.
But then also not putting it on one applicant.
Okay, I like that train of thought. So I think I'm gonna modify the condition, because I want you to go back and talk to the property owner and explain that he's not meeting city code as far as landscaping, and that if he has another tenant that needs to come in, go through the same process, it's in his best interest to meet these, conditions. So, do you have anything else you want to tell me before we close the public hearing?
Yeah, I do get the comments and concerns. As far as the owner goes, I can see him saying, "This is not my problem,"
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
I'm
gonna, I'm
I'm
not
worried
gonna
about that
make
too.
all the other tenants, cab or whatever, maybe triple net go up for you. It's not my problem. You should do due diligence beforehand. And for me, it's not my building.
Right, no, I
Like,
understand that.
I don't mind investing money. We're already investing a good amount of money into the
Update
unit.
the- yeah.
And there's already a tobacco store inside of that same building, If this was, I mean, obviously codes change from time to time, I understand
Right.
that. But there's already a tobacco store there. It doesn't make sense that I have to update it in a way.
Sure.
I understand I came after them, I understand that part, but there's already one there,
Okay.
so.
And I don't know the other tobacco store and the situation behind that, when it was applied for, what zoning codes
Yeah.
it was under.
Yeah.
But again, I see the concern. I think that what staff's trying to do is trying to find a middle ground to make it work with their code. And I feel like if we can just make that caveat saying that the applicant will work with the current landowner, and then if the landowner refuses, can we just have him apply for an alternative compliance, or what, is there something that we could have?
Not a hearing examiner, I guess that part would be dependent on how you wanted that to happen. If you want it to just be the due diligence of going through that exercise of trying to get that,
Yeah,
and then if it ultimately is no, then it's no, then that, we're not losing anything, it just
Okay.
remains the same. Or if you want to say if they can't get it, then they have to do something else, then.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on how much you as the decision maker want to hold up the potential permit in the future, or have us. Because as soon as this, let's say you recommend approval, or you approve it today with that modified condition, they can operate pretty quickly as soon as they get their business permit done, which
Okay.
I think is waiting in the wings. It gets very hard, obviously, to go back and then turn around and revoke it, but theoretically we could.
right. So, Joe, how do you think we should work with the landowner, like provide some like documentation from the landowner saying what their intent would be?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say provide some proof that the applicant and the landowner have tried to work together to do this, et cetera, as well as with planning.
Okay. Okay.
If it doesn't happen and you're okay with that, then that is what it is.
I think we should we should attempt it and try, and then but I just don't want him to be held up if the landowner's a hard
Understood.
no, so.
Sure.
Okay,
Understood.
okay. I don't think I have any other questions. I think we'll just, Garlene and I will work on the condition, and, so that, I do want you to reach out to the owner. I want you to talk to him about adding the additional shrubs, if possible. and then maybe get something in writing verifying he'll do the work, or if not, what his plan is.
And then, let's say he says, hey, I don't wanna invest the money, or he says he does, and this, right, it works out for everyone. But let's say, I don't wanna invest the money, and he'll say, you as a tenant, this is your special use permit, you invest whatever the landscaping amount is. How do we go about that? I don't wanna be liable to invest, I don't know how much thousands of dollars this is to, I might not even be there in a year from now, who knows, you know?
Madam Hearing Examiner, that's the point of your question, I guess.
Yeah.
If you write the condition in such a way that it's just, we're trying,
Yeah,
then it won't hold you up.
okay.
Then it is,
Okay.
it won't fall back to you, it would just
Gotcha.
not exist.
Gotcha.
Kind of a
Thank you.
And hopefully shrubs wouldn't cost thousands of dollars,
I don't know, I've
Yeah.
I've never done it before.
but nonetheless, I get it.
I don't think so, but I think that
Yeah.
you need to stress to him, it is in his best interest.
Yeah.
Because I know that, their tenants change.
For sure.
And that if someone else comes in.
It's gonna come up again.
It's gonna come up again.
For sure, yeah.
So this is really in his best interest as well, as a future landlord. So I think let's strike prior to May 1st, and then instead we'll say that the applicant will work with the current landowner to install a minimum of 50 shrubs within the street landscape buffer. Is that good enough, or do you want more direction on it?
I think we'll probably add another line just based off the conversation, but I think we have enough.
Okay, does that work? Okay, let's do that.
One question.
Yeah.
So do we come back here after, or just, we talk, okay?
Yeah, after the hearing, they'll give you the facts and findings, a list of all the conditions, and then you can always reach out to staff if you have questions on the next steps.
Gotcha. Well, thank you all, I appreciate everything, and, hopefully, things work out for the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I will close the public hearing. And with that modification to site-specific requirements for condition number 3 that we discussed, I will, based on the staff report, recommended findings and information provided during the testimony, recommend approval of SUP 25-020. So, thank you. And we don't have anything else on our schedule, so then I will now close our public hearing. It is 1:54. Thank you, everyone. Okay.